in Catalonia, the hierarchy of the judicial power and the state apparatus never had a real democratic reform. This is why the current Spanish political regime is based on two legal pillars that complement each other without being substitutes. First and foremost, what is obvious to everyone, the Constitution from 1978. Even though today only 17% of Catalans would approve it, this is the basic legal text that rules in Spain. However, there's another legal pillar, the legality that was born from the coup d'etat from 1936. It is not common to remember anymore that the father of the current Spanish king swore in 1969 the fascist principles of El Movimiento in order to become the heir of Franco, as he personally nominated him. Juan Carlos de Borbón never renounced to them. It shall never be forgotten that in order to win the Civil War, Franco allied itself with the Nazi and fascist regimes of Germany and Italy. Hitler and Mussolini gave an invaluable help to Franco's troops in order to win the war against the forces of the Republic. You will not be surprised to discover that one of their aims was precisely to avoid that Catalonia could become independent. Astonishing for any democrat, Franco and his fascist colleagues have rested for 40 years in the giant mausoleum of El Valle de los Caídos, a fascist monument near Madrid that has received continuously public subsidies during democracy and is still considered national heritage. When President Sanchez's government tried to remove the dictator, but just him, from the mausoleum, the right-wing parties from Spain abstained on the vote and publicly opposed the move as unnecessarily. In another line, Catalan language was forbidden during the dictatorship and today is allowed and we can teach it in Catalan school. However, the threat of finishing with our schooling model, that is a model of integration and cohesion, is constantly on the table. Today, according to Spanish laws, the praise Francoism and to make publicly the fascist salute in public spaces and places is legal. To make a referendum in Catalonia on independence or about anything else is illegal. Today, according to Spanish laws, a mausoleum glorifying a dictatorship that persecuted democracy and the Catalan language and culture is legal, an official national heritage of Spain. Meanwhile, to speak Catalan in a Spanish Congress is illegal. Catalonia wants to have a state where democracy, justice, and civil rights are respected, and this state is not Spain. This state can only be the Catalan Republic. 40 years after the Constitution was approved, we have political prisoners, we have exiles, we have colleagues in hunger strike. If Spain is a democracy, it is a very strange one. As Carlos Lesmes, the president of the Supreme Court, said in September last year, rule of law in Spain is based on the unity of the state. How can this be possible? The rule of law of country needs to be based on democracy, on tolerance, on the values of Europe. Looking at Spain, one would say that democracy is only effective if you are for the unity of Spain. For all those reasons, I'm very happy for being here in Slovenia with all of you, dear friends, celebrating not the Spanish Constitution, but the spirit of freedom and real democracy that you, the people of Slovenia, have and have won. Where are we now in Catalonia? After the events of the last 12 months, there's a lot of debate about the next step. Some, normally unionists, say that Catalonia is divided into two camps, that there is a lot of tension, but that this is not right, because debating any issue never divides. There's certainly tension, but the tension caused in a society that has seen its legitimate political leaders be sent to prison or exile, to be banned from using their political rights, a society that has seen judges override electoral results, a society that sees how innocent men are forced to go into hunger strike in order to protest and defend their most basic rights. Today, there are three very big issues where Catalan society has a consensus, according to the polls, a consensus that crosses parties, party lines, and appeals directly to citizens. The first consensus, that 80% of the Catalan people is against the existence of the monarchy, unionist, doubtful, or pro-independence. It doesn't matter. 8 out of 10 Catalans believe that the king has no legitimacy to be the head of a state. Second big consensus, 80% of the Catalan people is against the use of repression as a political tool to solve the Catalan conflict, and particularly against the imprisonment of our politicians, 80%, meaning that even many voters from the right-wing parties that are completely supporting the imprisonments are in fact against it. And finally, the third big, great consensus in the Catalan society, 80% of Catalans support that there's a legally binding referendum agreed between Catalonia and Spain, and there was a legally binding referendum agreed between Scotland and the UK. Unfortunately, on the contrary, there is also a consensus in the Spanish political and media establishment that Catalonia doesn't have the right to self-determination in any case. That political prisoners are not such but golpistas, that deserve prison for attempting to separate Catalonia from Spain. Anti-Catalan speech arouses spirits and gives votes in the rest of Spain, and this is exactly why Spain will never reform itself to accommodate our aspirations. The Constitution will never be reformed in a federal or confederal way. There is not majority for such a thing in Spain. The result last Sunday in the Spanish region of Andalusia, with the right playing close to the explicitly to neo-Francoist from Vox that garnered a 10% of votes, is very telling of what is to come in the rest of Spain. The only way forward for Catalonia is to follow the Slovenian way, freedom. Carl Schmitt once said, "He who can make an exception is sovereign." This is what we did last year on the 1st of October, and we were sovereign that day. The day we held an independent referendum based on our right to self-determination according to international law and treaties. Around 2.3 million people voted. 90% of them did it for independence. 9.1 million people, a figure as big as if all the population of Slovenia had voted. Police violence could not stop our people from voting. Many of us, for the first time in our lives, had to face fear of violence, but we resisted and non-violently defended our ballot boxes with our own bodies. That day, something new was born in Catalonia, something that there is not way back from. The Spanish state could not stop the referendum, and we, the people of Catalonia, felt free. And when you have tasted freedom, you always want to come back to it. The operation ballot box was successful. Thousands of unarmed citizens defeat a state with all its might. That referendum was done thanks to the commitment of our people, but also to the commitment of our politicians, from our government, from our social leaders. Today, 9 of them are political prisoners, 7 are in exile. I'm proud of their bravery. I'm proud to be able to say that our political class has been ready to pay a personal price for their ideas. We are proud of them, and our efforts will never falter until they are released, allowed to return home, and our right to self-determination is respected. In this political environment, it is a miracle that the pro-independence parties won the election on 21st December last year. That absolute majority in Parliament was certainly against all odds and calculations in Madrid. And with 80% of participation, it showed that the will for self-determination is not a temporary feat of Catalan politics, but a permanent will of democratic majority. A year has passed, and not much has changed, unfortunately. Our political prisoners will be judged from January onwards, and collectively, the General Prosecutor of Spain has asked 217 years in prison for them. 270 years for organizing a referendum, for giving the voice to the people. Rajoy's government fell, but Sánchez has shown to be not much better than him. His rejection of the right to self-determination for Catalonia is complete, and the socialist fear of the Spanish nationalist parties is so big that they do not even speak about federalism anymore. Whoever rules Spain, the result is the same for Catalonia. This is why we need an international mediation. We need a third party that is able to force the Spanish government to have a real negotiation, a deep and free negotiation based on how political prisoners and exiles can return home and how is respected and executed our right to self-determination. With the rise of anti-Catalan extremist parties, it is clearer every day that only an international mediation will be able to convince the Spanish establishment that the political solution for Catalonia needs to be based on the democratic will of its people. On the monarchy, we cannot count to play such a role. On the contrary, it has been a decisive party in the repressive wave we have suffered during the last year. In its last book, its last book, The Road to Unfreedom, Timothy Snyder says, "The politics of inevitability is the idea that there are no ideas." In the same way, the politics of the inevitability of the eternal unity of Spain is an idea that will fail because we have a very strong idea in our hearts, freedom. Today, with our friends in hunger strike for 7 days, we more than ever commit ourselves to achieve freedom for our people, not only because it is morally right, but because this is the best way to increase prosperity and social wellness of our people. In order to confront the challenges of globalization, we need to have Catalan laws for Catalan problems. Catalonia cannot depend on the decisions taken in Madrid, where centralism extends well beyond the political domain towards the banking system, the main enterprise or infrastructures. Without sovereignty, it's more difficult to prosper. It is our aspiration to join the European Union as a member state, to be able to participate directly on its decision, to influence without intermediaries. As it was seen very clearly during the Brexit negotiation where, differently to Spain, we the Catalans would put our citizens, our enterprises and the democratic will of the people before any other consideration. Having a say inside the European Union is our natural path. The EU is our main market, but also our area with whom we share a history, an identity, and the values of democracy and respect for human rights. In Catalonia, we see with respect how much has Slovenia prospered 28 years after your independence referendum. All new project has its initial difficulties, but it is an example to take into account. Self-determination and economic freedom are basic for the prosperity of nations. Those nations that are ruled by faraway capitals cannot adapt themselves to the challenges of the 21st century. In his famous book, The Size of Nations, Alberto Alesina, Harvard professor, explained well why in a globalized world, political power needs to be closer to the people in order to be effective. The free flow of capital, labor and goods that we enjoy inside the UE allows us to imagine a better future as an independent state. With a GDP of 223 billion euros, similar to Portugal or Finland, we export already more than to the rest of the world than to Spain. It is our will to continue this trend. The future of our economies depends on our capacity to succeed in an open world. Closing ourselves will only worsen the state of our economy in the medium term. In this sense, I hope that economic relationships between Catalonia and Slovenia will increase in the coming years. Tomorrow, I will have a meeting at the Chamber of Commerce of this city with this very objective. It is time to build Europe through the strength of small states and nations, as well as with the big ones. As Alessina correctly saw, small states, when accompanied by democracy and strong institutions, tend to bring prosperity to their citizens. Size cannot be a reason to be sidelined, and I can see how already small states in the north are uniting in order to defend their rights and ideas. This new Hanseatic League and its growing weight inside the UA is proof that the small states can also be powerful through the strength that economic success can give them. Europe will only succeed if all nations and all peoples are treated equally and with equal rights. In Catalonia, we want to build a new republic based on the principles of radical democracy and the defense of social rights. A republic that is ready to give a better education to our children, to have a real competition between enterprises, to fight against climate change, together with the rest of free nations in the world, to respect human rights and to promote them abroad, with opportunities to our children and more safety for our old generation. And we want to do this through democratic and non-violent means, always with the flag of dialogue and peace, because there is nothing more European than deciding borders through the democratic force of ballot boxes. This is why I want to make a call to all European governments to act and raise their voice on what is going on in Catalonia. The Spanish Constitution, as I said before, has turned into a cage for the Catalan people, and those who try to escape end up in prison, exile, or hunger strike. Catalonia needs an international mediation, not more violations of human rights. As the Slovenian poet Ton Pavsek put it, ko hodiš, pojdi zmeraj do konca. This is what the Catalan people will certainly do following your steps. Democracy is not a gift, but a human right. Self-determination is not a privilege, but a precondition for freedom. May the friendship on the Catalan and Slovenian people endure. As the Slovenian hymn says, prepir is svetavo pregnant darrojak, prost vos vzak, nevrak, lesoset bomejak. Thank you very much. I don't know.
So, thank you, Mr. Torra, for your views about the situation in Catalonia. Thank you about your message about what is going on in Spain, what is going on in Catalonia. I would like to ask you, my personal view here starts, why somebody decides to leave the safe job in insurance company and his own publishing house for becoming, in these turbulent times, the president of Catalonia? Is this, how to say, the call of Catalonia? Is this your personal, it was time to become, so it was a necessity? What is your perspective about this?
Well, thank you, and before answering your question, forgive me by my Slovenian accent, but I try to read it in Slovenian because we respect the language and the cultures of all the peoples of the world. I think that was a reason of responsibility, you know. I never thought that I could become one day president of Catalonia, never ever. Because, well, first I had my profession, I was a lawyer, I worked for an insurance company. Later I left, but my company left me as well, so I had the opportunity to reinvent myself, and I started to publish some books. I was very interested in the journalists that start to write in Catalan during the Republic in Spain and the years before, that were writers that were very forgotten in Catalonia. So in a certain way, I rescued them, and I started to publish their works, many articles that I found in old papers that were published in Catalonia. And also, as I have done during all my life, I continue interesting in my society, in Catalonia, in the fight for freedom of Catalonia, that it has been a constant during many, many years and many, many generations. My father, my grandfather, my sons. And, well, when the last year, in October last year, happened what happened, 2 months later, I received a call from President Puigdemont telling me that he wanted that I was in his list in the elections that we had in the 21st December last year. And I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no for responsibility. I thought, if the president of your country counts on you and is calling you to be involved there, okay, you have to say yes. And I said yes. And after 4 months, and after many things that happened in Catalonia that couldn't happen, and that it shouldn't happen in any democratic country, because, you know, the Supreme Court act and was the cause why neither President Puigdemont, neither other 2 candidates were approved by the Parliament of Catalonia, because the Supreme Court obliged them to be eligible by our Parliament. Well, the President Puigdemont proposed my name. And again, he called me and said, my friend, it's your turn. I need you as the president here. And again, I said, okay, there are 3 reasons why I'm telling you yes. First, because I've always have been defending the idea of freedom for Catalonia. Second, because I think that is a critical moment of Catalonia, and all the citizens of Catalonia should be ready to act and to work in the place that the country calls for do it. And if the president is telling me that my position could be the president of the Generalitat, okay, I'll do it. And third, because I thought that my father would approve it. And I say yes for these 3 reasons.
Okay, thank you. So, but, okay, 3 reasons are there. It's your personal responsibility. You are already discussing, you are saying the country called me. You're not saying the region called me, the autonomous region called me. You're already defining Catalonia as being the country. So how can you, because officially it is not.
Yeah.
So if you can explain this, you're always using the, how to say, vocabulary, the country, also in Spanish, or just in when you're speaking English?
No, obviously, always I'm using the same word always everywhere. I used to tell the same thing here in Ljubljana than in Barcelona or in Madrid. I think that for something that is involved in politics should be very clear, because what the citizens, I think, it's my opinion, but what the citizens are demanding for the political people is to be clear. Defend whatever you want, but be clear, and be clear with the people that is voting you and that is putting their confidence on you. So I try to be clear. I think that Catalonia is a nation for its culture, for its language, for its history, and above all, for its current determination to be a nation. a nation is a plebiscite of every day, said Mr. Renan some years ago, and I think so. I think so that the determination of the people of Catalonia that has been during last years has taken in a proof now is more than ever clear. So I believe that our country is a nation. I believe that we have the right to self-determine ourselves, and I'm fighting for do it, as in fact we did last year with the self-determination referendum. We said in that way, and you know the paper you put in the ballot boxes was. Do you agree with the idea to become a Catalan Republic? And the answer was yes or not. And of course I voted yes. And 2.1 million of Catalans said yes, together with me. And that's the real importance of the word country, you know, because if I would say country, maybe it has, well, a certain value, but when 2.1 million of people says the same, then I think that is important.
You opened the issue of self-determination from 1989 onwards, or from 1991 onwards in Slovenia. We have a strong feeling, not matter whether we are coming from the left or from the right, we are having a strong feeling, pro-Catalonian feeling, so pro-independence. And you also know that if you followed our media, that when we were discussing your referendum last year, there were, how to say, pro-Catalonia referendum, also forces from the left and from the right. So we have, how to say, the rare see national unity on this course here. I would like to ask you, what is the perception of Slovenians from Catalonia? Okay, you said you were here for 24 hours. It is a strong friendship. You also met some of Slovenian politicians, some of sort of delegates of the National Assembly. So how is the situation, or what is the perception of Slovenia? Is Slovenia a successful story that Catalonia would like to follow? Is Slovenia a partner for Catalonia? What is the perception of Slovenian society in Slovenia?
Well, we admire Slovenia. We admire your determination. You won by yourself, your freedom, and that is something unforgettable for the Catalan people. Because we love freedom above all, and we love the people that fight for freedom above all. That's why I think that the cause of freedom of Slovenia is the same cause of the Catalans. And when I say that I really have this perception, these feelings of friendship from you, from the people of Slovenia, well, I have had many proofs these last 24 hours with the friends of the Pen Club of Slovenia and the writers, with the people that make up in just before interviewing me in the television, with the people in the hotel, not only for the politicians. And of course, I have to say publicly that I'm really very happy to have met the President of the Republic, the President of the Parliament of Slovenia. I think that with this attitude, Slovenia, the country, has break the silence over Catalonia that this last month we have had. You can imagine how difficult it is for us to go around Europe, around the world, to say or to read the same speech that I've just read now. Because it's not easy for me. It's not easy because the Spanish diplomacy is always saying just the opposite. And for us, having this window of opportunity that we have had here in Slovenia, in this beautiful hall, having the opportunity to talk with the mayor of Ljubljana as well, is very, very, very important. We will never forget what you have done for Catalonia in the past, but especially today, because I think that it's the first time in this last month that we feel ourselves treated as a partner, as friends, something that you count on us and we count on you. So this is the feeling that I have.
May I ask you, is Ljubljana the first city that you visited, or you visited also some other cities and you had, how to say, more cold acceptance there, or just you were not at heart by some politicians, you were not accepted, you did not meet some politicians?
Well, I've visited 3 countries, all three countries friends of the Catalans. The first one was Scotland, and I was received by the Prime Minister. It was very nice. The second was Belgium, and as well I was received by the President of the Flanders Parliament and other politicians. And the third is this one in Slovenia. And in January I'm going to the United States with the same message than today, and we will put all the focus in the fight for our human and civil rights. You know, I think that now and today that we have some friends that in this hunger strike, that we have to put all our efforts there, because this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable any day more. We can't follow in this way. That's why we are asking for this international mediation for Catalonia. If the Spanish government is not sitting in the same table with us, we need someone to put Spain in the table where we are. We are disposed to talk about everything, about the conditions of our self-determination right, how we organize the referendum, etc., etc. We come from self-determination referendum from the 1st of October and the 27th of October. We declare in our parliament politically the independence of Catalonia. Okay, this is our starting point. What could be the political solution for Catalonia? Could be legally and validated by the international community self-determination referendum. Okay, let's talk about it, because we have to find a political solution. But a political solution, what we can't have is 214 years. That is what the General Prosecutor of Spain is demanding for our colleagues. This is unacceptable for us, and especially for me as the President of Catalonia. I'm not going to accept the sentences of this trial. I can't accept it. So that's why we are really very happy of being here and asking for this international mediation.
Okay, but asking for international mediation, it would be, how to say, the most appropriate place would be maybe Brussels, Paris, Berlin, Switzerland, or United Nations.
And United Nations.
So are those cities your plan in the next future? Or?
And it's not easy for us to move. So that's why when we visit a country full of friends, well, we as well ask for this international mediation, not directly to your politicians, but I think that, you know, I believe in the, let's say, in the friendship of the European community of citizens. Catalonia has been part of Europe since ever, in the old times. So we feel Europeans. We feel as ours the great values that have made Europe a dream for many of us, but a dream of liberty, a dream of freedom, a dream of solidarity, a dream of fraternity. And we have political prisoners, exiles, and people in hunger strike. And we ask Europe if this is acceptable in the 21st century.
But you are knocking on the door, so nobody's opening the doors in Brussels.
Yes, no opening is, or no one is opening a door. And do you think that this is acceptable? What is the solution then for Catalonia? if Madrid, from one government and from another, we receive the same answer, that is no, and we want to maintain our independentist movement in the line of democracy, non-violence, and tolerance. What's the solution for us? That's why, obviously, if there's no answer, we will continue our path to freedom. We are, let's say, condemned to be free. We can't do anything different from continue fighting for freedom.
You said you would like to follow the Slovenian way, so fighting for freedom. But deciding for independence, it's not an easy step.
No.
Slovenia, for the first, started to build its own institutions. I read your interview in our main newspaper, Delo, and in the interview, it seems implicitly that looking from outside, sometimes the Catalonian political decision makers just jumped without a parachute, so just jumped without a soft pillow last 1st October, and then on the 27th October, and it's a little bit, how to say, it's a little bit strange. So you are making a referendum, the referendum is successful, you are declaring the independence, you are frozen the independence, you are again maybe declaring the independence. From outside, sometimes it doesn't seem serious. What is how to say, your defense on these steps that were done?
Yeah.
Because you were a little bit critical implicitly in that Delo interview.
Well, no, I think that the process was serious from the beginning till the end, that from one side. But maybe we didn't expect the violence of Spain in the 21st century, in, let's say, a democratic environment. And above all, or at least I didn't expect the reaction of Europe. I didn't expect, I'll say better, I didn't expect the no-reaction of Europe. This is obviously something that I didn't expect. So for the next time, there are some lessons learned. And the lessons, first of the lesson learned is a word that I'm repeating to the Catalan society, that is sacrifice. That the idea of, okay, if we want to become independent, there are many sacrifices that we have to do, that we will have to do. The second idea is organization. If we want to be independent, we have strong institutions, we have strong associations, we have the social and civic movement from the basis has to be very, very strong and organized. And third, the third word that I'm using is hope. I think that we have to be confident in that at the end of the path we will be free. And I have an absolute confidence on the Catalan people. That's why I'm using these three words: sacrifice, spirit of sacrifice, organization, and hope in that at the end we will win.
But this division is in the Spanish society, in the Catalan society, is really strong. You already mentioned the problem of the transfer of General Franco's remains from the Valle de los Caídos. I took some data that are officially available. 43 to 48% of people are pro-independence of Catalonia, 33 to 48 are against, so it is a huge split. Okay, let's name Jose Carreras was for. Lately, the Fund Montserrat Caballé was against. So, how deep is this split between pro and contra? So, you already said we are having 80% are against monarchy, 80% are against the use of repression, and 80% supports the legally binding referendum. That's true. But on the other hand, the nation in Catalonia is divided 50-50. Just a short, to refresh the short memory, in Slovenia, the case was a little bit different in the 1990s. So the turnout on referendum was 93% and 88% of all Slovenian citizens voting for independence. In Catalonia, I calculated 38% of all Catalans supported the pro-referendum. So can you just comment this huge split between yes, no, pro and contra for the independence?
I wouldn't talk about a huge split between pro-independentist and no-independentist in Catalonia. There's a split, obviously. In every debate, there's a split. And I think that when Demos won the first election, the party won by 53% of the total vote. So later, with the referendum, the figures were the figures that you have shown now. But I think that what could be a way, an exit to find a solution are these three big consensus that are among parties and across parties, from the right and from the left. This 80% of people that is saying in Catalonia that, okay, please solve this issue politically, celebrating a referendum, I think this is one of the keys to find an exit. The other two consensus are obviously very clear: no monarchy at all and no repression at all. But so the split we have is regarding yes or not the independence, but we don't have a huge split according the solution for a political solution for Catalonia. But the problem is that we can't implement it. We can't celebrate peacefully and democratically a referendum. In this conference, any one of us can imagine sending the police of England to the people of Scotland, beating them because they were voting in the referendum. Anyone here in the hall can imagine the Queen of England saying the same speech that the King of Spain did 2 days after the referendum, giving his support to the violence that the police, the Spanish police did. Why the Catalans should resign to not have the same rights as the Scottish people?
Yeah, the problem, it seems, is the so-called catch-22. So you're having a problem with the constitution, which is not allowing the referendum. Yeah. On the other hand, you're having the idea of the referendum or of the self-determination being outside of the classical internal political system. So if you are going to achieve maybe, I don't know, a resolution with the political parties in Madrid or even a national consensus about the referendum, which are going to be, how to say, your ideas? Is going to be 50% or 51% is enough? What is going to be the turnout? So what is a threshold? I'm asking about the threshold because, you know, sometimes we are lacking in issues of the referendum, we are lacking the issue of legitimacy more than legality, because being legal is quite easy. Mm-hmm. Being legitimate is a little bit more problematic.
I agree. But two examples: the decision of the Tribunal of La Haya regarding the Kosovo case. I think that is giving you the idea of, okay, about the idea of self-determination. So do it democratically. I don't know if there's the right or not, but do it democratically and peacefully, and I will recognize it. This is one idea. The second idea is the referendum in Montenegro. So why, if Spain is sitting in the table with us, that means that is recognizing Catalonia as a political subject. That at the end is what the discussion is about. It is Spain recognize it as something that we exist, as that we are the people of Catalonia, that we are a political subject. And if Spain sits in the same table, we can discuss about what you are telling. Okay, what are the numbers? What's the date of the referendum, etc., etc. But taking in consideration that we celebrate a self-determination referendum in the conditions that we celebrate it, and for us, it's like a foundation day. You know, is the first day of the republic that is coming, in a certain way. So, but in the way and with the aim to solve a political solution, we propose to the Spanish state, okay, let's talk about the possibility to celebrate a binding referendum and internationally validated. But he's not sitting in the table. So how can the Catalans go on?
So about this not sitting, you put, how to say, you were not enthusiastic, maybe too strong, about the new government in Madrid. So you had the idea that maybe with left parties you can make some talks, you can make some steps further. But it seems now from your last, how to say, positions that you're not going to support the budget. So you are going to be the cause that the Sanchez government is going to fail in Madrid. And you can have early elections. So the situation that the left part is going to be, how to say, more approachable did not happen.
When the opportunity to fire Mr. Rajoy appeared in the Spanish political situation, okay, we haven't any doubt to vote in favor of Mr. Sanchez. Mr. Rajoy approved the resolutions that abolished our parliament, that abolished our government, and at the end he judicialized what happened with the referendum, and so obviously for us was a window of opportunity, Mr. Sanchez. So we vote for Mr. Sanchez, and I met Mr. Sanchez in La Moncloa in order to know, okay, there's a possibility to talk about anything, and even if we come from nothing, that we had to put in value the only thing that we met together. Imagine, no? Okay, and we agreed in two things, that we start a bilateral relationship between Catalonia and Spain, and the second thing is that a political issue should solve politically. Okay, 6 months later, we receive the letter of the General Prosecutor of Spain asking for 214 years for our colleagues. Our colleagues are in prison. Half of the government is in exile. No advance at all in the self-determination referendum. What has changed really in Spain? Nothing. That's why the two political independentist parties said to Mr. Sanchez that we were not going to approve the Spanish budget and that we are not guaranteeing anymore the stability of their government, of course. But I think that all of you agree with me that it's a matter of dignity. It's a matter of dignity. How to approve something with the state and with the government that still maintain your friends, your colleagues, honorable people, democratic politicians, that they only put ballot boxes, giving the people of Catalonia the voice to vote and to decide their future. How can we approve something from this government if he's not moving at all? If always the answer from Spain, from Madrid is no, you don't have any right to decide your own future. That's the reason why we said no, and we continue saying no to this budget, to this stability. We ask Mr. Sanchez to be courageous, to change that tendency in Spain to say always no to the freedom of people. We only are asking for sitting together in a table and negotiate a self-determination referendum. I think that, well, is a reasonable demanding from Catalonia. And he's not sitting. Well, in that case, he's choosing.
Okay. For the first round, this is it. I'm opening the floor. Whether there is some question maybe from the public? Just raise your hand. If not, I have lots of questions here, but I would like to give the floor to the public. Yeah, please, just speak loudly because...
Yes, because I'm without a microphone. My name is Javni. I'm speaking here as a political activist in other independent.
So, thank you very much. Anybody else? Yes, please, Phil. Then the mic is coming, just a little bit.
Hello, my name is Andrej Reich. I'm a member of the parliament. I have a question. We know that divorce, let's say, is associated with costs. Have you ever estimated the costs of independence? We now see that Brexit will have a long-term impact. From our own, let's say, experience from Yugoslavia, we know that issues related to divorce are not settled yet after 30 years, nearly 30 years. Have you ever considered this issue? Thank you.
Yes, well, if I understood well, yes, maybe divorce have costs in the short time, but in the long time, obviously, everybody win. And you know, at the point that we've reached, Spain and Catalonia, and this critical moment with people in exile, with prisoners, hunger strike, I think that all Spain and Catalonia will win. We have to build up a solution for a win-win solution for all of us, because this is not acceptable. It's not acceptable anymore. We can accept having our friends in prison, and I think that it's a matter of dignity. So I don't know if there's a cost. Maybe is there a cost? In a long view, I think that well, and you are an example. But anyway, we are disposal to assume the cost that would be necessarily to be free.
Okay, anybody else? Yes. This is going to be the last for this round.
Yes, if I may, I'm Brian Kavcic. I would like you mentioned before, but could you elaborate the situation with Vox in Andalusia and in Spain and in Catalonia? I think there were even some disorders today in Catalonia, Girona, with the national extremist, rightist extremist. So what's the situation? How does that link to the Catalonia issue right now? Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, this extreme right party has appeared now in the Spain scenario, and well, I think that this is really a concern for all that we above all love democracy and human rights. You know, the first thing that said Vox, this extreme party, was to abolish the Catalan parliament and our institutions. So this is the situation. We are really very concerned of this of the race of this party, the extreme right, and as I said in the conference, yes.
Okay, thank you. I would like now to tackle the issue of the political prisoners like it was opened. So I would like to yield the floor to Dr. Peter Ceferin, who's going to present the issue of the case of Slovenian, or how Slovenian helped the Kosovo political prisoners in 1989. So, Dr. Ceferin, please, the floor is yours. It can serve as an example for us.
Hvala lepa. Jaz bom govoril v slovenščini, pa bi prosil, da zagotovite spoštovanim gostom simultano prevajanje. Jaz sem se z veseljem odzval v vabilu gospoda predsednika, da pridem na današnji pogovor v želji pomagati katalonskim političnim zapornikom in pripornikom in opozoriti na neke naše izkušnje iz nekega drugega političnega procesa. V letih 1989 do 90 smo imeli v Jugoslaviji zadnji politični proces pred razpadom Jugoslavije. Šlo je za politični spopad med interesi Srbije in Kosova, med Albanci in Srbi. In navzven se je ta spopad manifestiral v sodnem procesu zoper albanskega politika Azema Vlasija in starotrške rudarje, ki so bili vsi albanske narodnosti. Ker so ti rudarji stavkali in sicer tako, da niso hoteli zapustiti rudnika, so bili obtoženi kaznivega dejanja rušenja Jugoslavije, čeprav je bila takrat stavka dovoljena. Tožilstvo jim je tudi očitalo, da je namen stavke v izseljevanju Srbov in Črnogorcev iz Kosova, to je separatizem in odcepitev Kosova od Srbije oziroma Jugoslavije. Za to kaznivo dejanje je bila takrat zagrožena tudi smrtna kazen. V zvezi z obrambo obtoženih v katalonskem procesu sta po mojem mnenju za ta politični proces pomembni dve okoliščini. Prvič, internacionalna obramba obtoženih in drugič, močna internacionalna zasedba navzočih novinarjev, ki bodo ta proces intenzivno spremljali. Za oba procesa je namreč mogoče potegniti določene vzporednice. Prvič, eni in drugi so bili namreč obdolženi oziroma obtoženi rušenja ustavne ureditve v svoji državi. Drugič, v jugoslovanskem procesu so obtoženim očitali stavko, ki je bila po takratnih predpisih dovoljena. Katalonskim obdolžencem očitajo težnjo po odcepitvi, ki je po mednarodnem pravu legitimna. Kosovske rudarje so poleg albanskih zagovarjali tudi odvetniki iz Slovenije, Hrvaške in Srbije. Zlasti je bilo po moji oceni pomembno, da je Vlasija zagovarjal najuglednejši srbski borec za človekove pravice, beograjski odvetnik profesor dr. Rajko Danilović. To pa iz razloga, ker je šlo dejansko za spor med Srbi in Albanci in Albance je zagovarjal Srb. Ob koncu procesa sem tako vprašal Danilovića: Rajko, nam Slovencem in Hrvatom bodo ploskali, ko pridemo domov, kaj bo pa s teboj, ko se vrneš v Beograd? Pa je rekel: tisti, ki so me prej sovražili, me bodo sedaj še bolj. Tisti, ki so me imeli prej radi, me bodo sedaj imeli še bolj radi. Zato svetujem katalonskim kolegom internacionalno obrambo obtoženih, predvsem čim več uglednih španskih odvetnikov. Drug moj predlog pa je čim večja internacionalna sestava novinarjev, predvsem tudi španskih, ki bodo intenzivno spremljali in poročali o vseh procesnih napakah, kršitvah človekovih pravic in same zakonodaje. V kosovskem procesu se je na primer zgodilo tole. Meni ni bila dana možnost, da bi se dogovoril z mojim klientom, albanskim oziroma kosovskim rudarjem, o načinu obrambe. Zato sem v začetku obravnave vstal in rekel: tovariš predsednik senata, a mi lahko poveste, koga zagovarjam. Takrat so vsi novinarji vstali iz svojih sedežev, bili so iz vsega sveta, tudi iz Madrida, in so tekli do telefonov in čez 1 uro so vse radijske postaje od Madrida do Tirane poročale, kakšen farsični proces poteka v Kosovski Mitrovici. Jaz ne trdim, da bi se take procesne napake lahko zgodile v katalonskem procesu. Opozarjam le na pomembnost sprotnega opozarjanja svetovne javnosti na procesna ravnanja, ki bi lahko predstavljala kakršnokoli kršitev človekovih pravic. Ne gre namreč samo za to, da je cilj obrambe oprostilna sodba. Gre tudi za to, da se prepreči drastično kaznovanje. Glede na zagrožene kazni v španski zakonodaji. Namreč, prepričan sem, da tudi tisti Španci, ki ne odobravajo ravnanja katalonskih obdolžencev, ne morejo sprejeti tako drastičnih kazni, tako drastičnega kaznovanja. Tako kot tudi srbski intelektualci niso soglašali s kaznimi, ki so bile v takratnem kazenskem zakoniku Jugoslavije zagrožene za rudarje albanske narodnosti, samo zaradi tega, ker so stavkali. Hvala.
Hvala lepa, Dr. Čeferin. Do you have a comment?
Well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you. I appreciate your comments on these two issues. No, this international defense of the abuse. I think that clearly this is one thing that we have to do, and try to cover the trial internationally. This obviously we saw the trial as a very big opportunity, not to defend of anything because we are innocent of promoting a self-determination referendum, but on the contrary, to accuse the Spanish state of all that the Spanish state has done. So I agree with these two lines. In fact, in this, let's say, this pre-trial phase that we are now, we are trying to do that, and in the trial phase, obviously, and as you said, all of you have the certainty that we are not going to accept drastic sentences about our colleagues.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask you about something about the issue of political prisoners and people that are now in jail. So I was reading the names there. There are some that are in prison. There are 217 years altogether.
Yes.
But on the other hand, I did not find the number of years for being imprisoned, maybe, or being catched by the Spanish authorities for the President Puigdemont. So he's not under this.
He's not.
Because he's in exile.
Yes.
There's nothing against him.
This is one of the main contradictions of this process, that they are going to judge the government of President Puigdemont without President Puigdemont, that is free because he's in exile. So, well, imagine how the Spanish justice is acting, that, the main criminal, that is Mr. Puigdemont, they can't judge him because the tribunals of Germany have said that he is innocent and he can go everywhere except Spain. And this is one of the biggest contradictions, and neither President Puigdemont, neither the other exiles are in the list because they are free in Europe, because Spain lost the Euro orders that they have sent to catch the exiles, and because the tribunals in Germany and let's say the authorities in Switzerland have been all very clear. No extradition at all. They are free here.
So in different your interviews for Slovenia and other media, you said that you expected from the Sanchez government that they are going to release the political prisoners, and the only shift that was that the political prisoners were transferred from Madrid to Barcelona, since this was according to the law. But my question is here, don't you think that maybe just a release of political prisoners can be a sort of exerting influence of the executive branch towards the judicial branch, because officially, according to the Spanish legislation, they made something that is wrong.
Well, officially, I don't know what, I can't accept that they have done something wrong. And I'm sure that why President Puigdemont is free in Belgium?
I don't know.
No, because a court in Germany said that he should be free because he did nothing in order to put President Puigdemont in jail. So he's free. And Clara Ponsatí, a professor in St. Andrews in Scotland, is free as well. And in Switzerland, there are 2 exiles that are free as well. So in all these countries, they are free. And in Spain are in a prison for more than 1 year without a trial, accusing of something that nobody has seen. For instance, 2 of my colleagues, civil leaders, not members of the government of Catalonia, civil leaders that were put in prison before the referendum, just because they promote voting yes to the referendum, and they are in prison. Well, they are accused for saying no pasarán. One of the accusations of the general prosecutor is, no, these social leaders said in a meeting, no pasarán. And this is something that in Spain is, is something that it put you directly to prison. For just an example of the situation that we are living, no? Or that they use violence against, what violence? No one in Catalonia saw any violence of our colleagues except the Spanish police when they beat us when we were voting the 1st of October. It's the only violence that all the people of Catalonia saw. I can't accept that they did something wrong.
Returning back to the issue of the independence of Catalonia, you said today several times you are pro-republic, so against the monarchy.
Yes.
You said there's no other chance to do anything else, so we have to have our own independence. I'm still trying to trigger you a little bit. Are you sure that maybe there's no other point, federation, confederation, some other possibilities? It is the end, and just we are waiting, how to say, this process that started on the 1st of October and later on when the independence was declared on the 27th of October last year is going just to have its own children and is going to be promoted also in the international community? Or because you said before, there is still, I'm quoting you, 80% supports the legally binding referendum. So we can have the referendum again about the independence. If the referendum is not going to be successful, then there will be no independence anymore.
Yes.
I'm asking you about, is this the fait accompli, or we can just renegotiate and restart the process and maybe find some other issues and possibilities there?
No, under my mandate, I will never renounce to having a self-determination referendum. At least this is something that we put on the table. If Spain wants to take it, okay, it could be a good point to start the negotiations. If not, we had a self-determination referendum, a political independence proclamation. So this is the situation. But if you are asking me if that finally we agreed with the Spanish state and with the international community that we are going to celebrate a self-determination referendum for Catalonia, and at the end the people of Catalonia vote no, you'll have my resignation those same night on the table, because the people of Catalonia have said no, okay, it's not my way, so I dismiss immediately. Because it's a matter of democracy. It's a matter of democracy, and I saw it very clear. So I will make all my efforts to try to convince all my compatriots to vote yes if there's this referendum in Catalonia. But if we lost the pro-independentist movement in those referendum, of course that we accept it. We are Democrats first, and second, we are independentist, you know, so we will accept the result of this referendum.
So no federation, confederation, nothing?
I don't see it after, if the no one wins, the referendum, there maybe someone suggests federation or something like that. We've heard about federation thousands of times in Spain, you know. It's a word that is not saying us nothing special, because, well, we've heard from time to time that no, now there's a new government that will give you a new federation. Well, nothing has happened, and or less happened something bad news. So, well, you know, that's why the independentist movement has grown, and is now majority in Catalonia, just because, well, the people has memory, people think that, okay, now it's time to decide by ourselves. And if we win, okay, and if the people of Catalonia say no, okay. No, it doesn't matter. Well, yes, it matters a lot, no, but at the end we will accept everything, because we are in the 21st century. We have to accept that in this globalization life that we live with internet connections everywhere, that we have noticed, well, how can one imagine, no, we are not going to let these people vote because we don't want. Well, people is free.
What do you expect from the European Union? You know, it was said last year, this is the internal affair of Spain. You're trying, you had some meetings in the European Union. Also, our member of the European Parliament is helping you with the platform there. So what are you expecting from the European Union institutions? We are having the elections next year, and the situation, as it is projected, is going to be a little bit different than it is now. So you'll have sort of negotiations again after the elections. You think there is going to be a fresh wind there, or a different stance in Brussels, or we're going just to perpetuate the same situation like it is now?
Could happen many things, but what I expect is the solidarity of the citizens of the European Union. For me, this is much more important than having the okay from the European Union, because I believe in the fraternity of the peoples of Europe. So I don't know what is going to do the European Union. I hope that Ivo's platforms will grow and grow and grow. I hope that in the elections in Catalonia we will have, the Independentist Party will have an excellent result. Maybe this can help, this can put pressure in the European Union. But we know perfectly well what the European Union is. That is a club of states. So, and how the Spanish diplomacy acts, and how the international diplomacy is moving. So, what we are really interested is in try to be seen for the citizens of Europe as the cause of the Catalans, that is important to be with us, that is important for the values that are behind this idea of freedom, and here we will put all our efforts.
But for the mediation, you need the European institutions and the heads of the governments. Because we are facing the renationalization of politics in the European Union. Countries are more or less devoted to Brussels and more devoted just to themselves. So what is going to be your future steps, maybe, to convince the European politicians that something should be done by the, as you said, maybe international mediation and so on?
Maybe if the public opinion is growing, is putting pressure to their government to say this is not acceptable because we are democrats and we respect the rights of the people and the individuals because we believe in the human rights, we believe in the civil rights. Maybe if the citizens of Europe are with us, maybe this is going to be translated to the governments of these people, no?
Okay, opening the second part of the floor. If you're, you have the microphone there, just press the green button, please, if possible.
Good morning, Mr. President. I'm a student of FEDEV, the Social Sciences faculty here, and I would like to ask you, probably you're here today because of last year's referendum, which was an act of civil disobedience against Spanish laws. So when you're talking about the political prisoners, you repeated many times that you're not going to accept the decision of the court if they're condemning them. Does it mean that the government of Catalonia will call for civil disobedience and will open the prisons since they are imprisoned in Catalan prisons? Because that would be a way of advancing, since we've seen that the process of independence or on self-determination only advances when there's a huge civil disobedience that catches the attention of the European Union. Now, everything's working normally almost in Catalonia, so we're out of the focus of the European Union. That's my question. If the non-accepting this sentence will mean opening the prison and setting them free. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Shut down the mic, please.
Non-accepting the sentences means, in my opinion, go to the Parliament of Catalonia, where is the sovereignty of the Catalan people, and in the Parliament take the decision that would be more convenient in that moment, attending the three words that I said before: our capacity of sacrifice, our ability to be organized, and the hope to be free. I will let, if you let me, I will stop here. But there are many possibilities, and I'm completely sure that the representatives of Catalonia, the members of the Parliament of Catalonia, we will take the decision that will help our people to be free.
Thank you. Some other questions? Yes, please. But there's no mic there. It's coming. Just a little bit.
Govoril bom tokrat v slovenščini. Izvorno me zanima zadeva, da vsak narod, ki ne pozna svoje zgodovine, je obsojen na ponavljanje in na dolgi rok na propad. Glede Katalonije bi se mogel vrniti v 15. stoletje, ko je prišlo do združitve Izabele Kastilske z aragonskim kraljem. Aragonija je bila vezana tudi na Katalonijo. Takrat je bila, kako bi rekel, prva, kako bi rekel, ustanovitev. Druga ustanovitev, na katero bi poudaril, je pa vezana na resignacijo kralja Alfonza in na dvig, bomo rekli, falangističnih enot pod Franciskom Gaudiljem. Takrat je prišlo do osnovne ustave. Ta ustava je veljala tudi po Frankovi smrti 75. leta, ko je dal za monarhijo nečaka, to je bil Juan Carlosa. Iz tega vidika se popolnoma logično vidi, da je to dediščina, bomo rekli, fašistične, kako bi rekel, diktature, ki jo je, kako bi rekel, Evropska unija in velike sile priznale. Zdaj se pa pogovarjamo o legitimiteti, legaliteti in verodostojnosti. Zdaj gremo iz tega vidika popolnoma ugotavljati, kaj je pol temelj oportunizma Evropske unije, ki, kako bi rekel, na eni strani zanika temeljne pravice Wilsonove, kako bi rekel, samodločbe, na drugi strani so pa višji interesi, ki krojijo tudi meje. Temeljni primer je tudi v Sloveniji. Na teli sliki tamle gori, ko Slovenija pozdravlja Ljubljano, se vidijo grbi. Grb, kako bi rekel, goriške in gradiščanske, vidi se grb Trsta in vidi se grb, kako bi rekel, dobesedno Kranjske oziroma Istre na levi strani, ko so zastave. Torej, v vsaki državi, ko ljudje ne poznajo zgodovine, je ista zgodovina. Tamle je grb Ljubljane, na tem grbu je enostavno viden zmaj. Ta zmaj je germanski in pripada ortnaškim. Jaz bi pa želel, da enkrat sploh začnemo s temeljem argumentirano razlagati, kakor v Sloveniji, kakor v Španiji. Španska ustava ne dovoljuje, kako bi rekel, celovitve, ima pa avtonomijo.
Ker se nam čas počasi izteka za
avtonomija
vprašanje oziroma razmislek.
Da bi mogli vzpostaviti vojsko, da bi mogli vzpostaviti ustrezne finančne institucije. Zdaj bi želel, po kakšnih korakih bomo šli, ker mednarodna legitimiteta ni samo medijski spin. Hvala.
Hvala. Ok, gremo naprej. Še kakšno vprašanje, kratko, jedrnato? Prosim, kratko, jedrnato, ker nam čas odteka, tako kot Sava navzdol. Dajte tam, prosim, mikrofon gospodu. Zelen gumb, tako je.
Dobro večer, želim, jaz bom tudi v slovenščini postavil vprašanje čisto kratko. Kako sploh pričakujete doseči uspeh z razglasitvijo neodvisnosti brez mednarodne podpore? Slovenija, ko jo omenjate toliko, je vseeno imela po razglasitvi podporo številnih držav, priznali so našo samoodločbo. V vašem primeru smo doživeli to, da je nekako Evropska unija in številne države zaprla vrata katalonskim predstavnikom. Te iste države pa imamo primer Srbije, pa silijo ravno to državo naj priznajo neodvisnost Kosova. Ali se vam zdi, da je več kot očitno, da ko nekateri očitajo celim zahodnim državam neka dvojna merila, da se vam godi krivica in da ste nekako izdani strani te iste Evropske unije. Kljub načelni podpori, kljub veliko govoričenja o človekovih pravicah, vendar ne pride do tiste prave podpore in čisto dvomim, da bo prišlo do neke medijacije med vami in špansko vlado. Hvala.
Hvala lepa.
Yes, well, we learned a lot of October last year and this last year as well. So we know that there are some things internationally that we have to do, certainly. So you are right here. There are a lot of tasks that we have to do in order to explain what's the situation in Catalonia and asking for this international mediation. But we are committed to do that. We will go around the world with a flag of the civil rights, the social rights, and our national rights everywhere, explaining not only to the governments, but I insist to the citizens, the aspirations of Catalonia. I think that at the end we will success. It's my believing.
Hvala lepa. Profesor Bebler, kar vžgete, stisnete na gumb zelen, pa povlečete mikrofon ven. Tako bo.
Mr. President, thank you very much for your presentation. Everybody in this room, I think, has sympathy, deep and warm sympathy for the Catalonians, for Catalonia, and for you striving for self-determination. That sympathy was shared also, was expressed also by my father, who fought in the Spanish Civil War, who was a volunteer, international volunteer, one of about 500 volunteers, Slovenians, who fought in the Spanish Civil War. At the end, my father was wounded in Spain as a captain of the Spanish Republican Army. My question to you is, would a confederal status for Catalonia be a viable solution at all? Could it be achieved or not?
Well, first of all, my homage to your father, to your family. Tomorrow we will homage all these Slovenian people that fought in the Spanish Civil War, as I told you in the conference. Regarding the question, the answer is again, the idea is self-determination. Why we should resign to a confederation? Please let's vote about if we want to be independent or not independent, because if not, another will take my position, another government will appear in Catalonia, and maybe they will succeed in their proposal. But we are the successors of the government that promote a self-determination referendum in Catalonia. The people that is in prison are our colleagues, our friends. I feel myself as, neither the successor as the president of Catalonia, but in a very close relationship with President Puigdemont. And all these people and all the people in Catalonia, we fight for having a self-determination referendum. Really, believe me, this 80% of the total population of Catalonia, what really want is to know if there's a majority, a clear majority to be independent or not. So let's give the voice to the people. It's just that.
Okay, last question, zadnje vprašanje. Še kdo? Zadnje, ja. Ni konc, ni več pol vprašanj, so mi že povedali. Torej, če ni več vprašanj, for the end, just thank you, Mr. Torra, thank you for being here. I would like, if I may, for the end, just correct you in one of your statement. You said 80% of people are against the use of repression. I think 100% are against the use of repression. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
Gospod Weigel, izvolite.
Jaz bi na koncu, ne da bi šel še enkrat obnavljati to bogato razpravo, rad bi se zahvalil vsem vam, ki ste danes tukaj. Zdi se mi, da sem dobil neko zadnjo satisfakcijo s tem, ko je slovenski politični vrh vendarle ugotovil, da bi bilo dobro, da sprejme predsednika Katalonije. Zato je bilo treba nekaj prepričevanja, mogoče bo drugič potrebno manj. Rad bi se dotaknil vprašanja mednarodne solidarnosti oziroma podpore oziroma stališča Evropske unije. Jaz sem že leto dni predsednik platforme za dialog Evropska unija Katalonija. In pravzaprav se število članov Evropskega parlamenta, ki so v tej skupini, zelo počasi povečuje. Zdaj nas je recimo tam nekje okrog 50 iz 16 držav. Nažalost smo mi edini glas Združene Evrope, naša platforma iz Evropske unije, njenih struktur, njene organizacije, drugega glasu ni zaslišati. Jaz mislim, da je današnja srečanja tukaj, da so pomemben dogodek v tem poskusu prebiti tišino in ignoranco v Evropski uniji. Kakorkoli že, ni nam treba se podcenjevati. Mi smo ena izmed držav, članic Evropske unije, in v tej državi so predsedniku Katalonije izkazali pozornost, ki si jo zasluži. in na to smo lahko ponosni. Druga stvar, ki sem jo hotel reči, je to. V začetku, ko smo začeli dajati podporo v Evropskem parlamentu Kataloniji, smo imeli iluzije, da bomo mogoče preprečili najhujše, da bomo preprečili celo proces. Ker proces, kakršenkoli že je sramota, še preden se je začel in bo sramoten takrat, ko se bo začel, ko bo potekal. Zdi se mi pa zelo pomembno to, kar nam je povedal dr. Čeferin. Proces bo še slabši in bo še večja blamaža, če obramba ne bo optimalna. Zato mislim, da moramo v naslednji fazi, in to se jaz obvezujem, gospod predsednik, narediti vse, da bo, kar je gospod Čeferin sugeriral, da se najde mednarodna obramba, da se naredi neka akcija, ki bo podprla takšen koncept obrambe, in drugič, da naredimo vse, da bo opazovanje postopka politično in strokovno pokrito. In to zelo, zelo temeljito. In medijsko seveda. To so neke konkretne stvari, ki se mi zdijo pomembne tudi iz današnje razprave tukaj. Zdaj bi pa z soglasjem predsednika Kučana prebral izjavo, ki se nanaša na katalonske politične zapornike in gladovno stavko. In bi vas prosil, da prisluhnete in date neko, recimo, tiho soglasje, da to objavimo. Zaskrbljeno spremljamo informacije, da so katalonski politični zaporniki obtoženi organiziranja plebiscita o prihodnosti Katalonije pričeli z gladovno stavko. Odločitev za to skrajno obliko človeškega protesta prepričljivo govori o tem, da napovedani proces z zagroženimi drastičnimi zapornimi kazmi za skupino zaprtih katalonskih voditeljev, civilno-družbenih organizacij, politikov in demokratično izvoljenih članov parlamenta in vlade politične razmere v Kataloniji zaskrbljujoče zaostruje. Zagovorniki človekovih pravic in demokratičnih vrednot Evropske unije zavračamo ravnanje španskih oblasti in utemeljeno dvomimo v upravičenost in pravičnost napovedanega sojenja katalonskim političnim zapornikom. Španske oblasti pozivamo, da se odgovorno odzovejo na zahteve stavkajočih zapornikov in preprečijo človeško tragedijo, do katere lahko pripelje dolgotrajna gladovna stavka. Poudarjamo, da gre pri katalonski krizi za političen problem, ki ga je mogoče rešiti samo s političnimi sredstvi v odkritem, strpnem in argumentiranem dialogu. Zato podpiramo pripravljenost in prevrženost katalonskega vodstva, da poišče rešitve za nastale razmere po plebiscitu in pred napovedanim sodnim procesom v dialogu z vlado v Madridu. Prepričani smo, da so španska družba in njene demokratične državne institucije sposobne dialoga, v katerem bosta obe strani z polno odgovornostjo soočili svoja stališča in v katerem bo spoštovana pravica Kataloncev do razmisleka o prihodnosti Katalonije in do demokratične odločitve o tem. Neodvisnost Katalonije je vprašanje, ki ga morajo razrešiti Španci in Katalonci med seboj. Zato pozivamo špansko vlado in njenega predsednika Sancheza, da dialog sprejme in namesto nasilja in nedopustne represije uveljavi privrženost tako temeljnim vrednotam demokratične družbe kot načelom Združene Evrope. Kot prepričani Evropejci smo zgroženi tudi nad neodzivnostjo, nenačelnostjo in sprenevedanjem evropskih institucij, ki molčijo tudi ob najnovejši zaostritvi razmer v Kataloniji. Zato pozivamo vse, ki imajo vpliv na evropskem političnem prizorišču, da se zavzamejo za politično rešitev katalonske krize ter za usodo političnih zapornikov in vseh katalonskih politikov, ki so se pred represijo španskih oblasti umaknile v druge države. Z vašim dovoljenjem bi to izjavo podpisala predsednik Milan Kučan in jaz in računam na vašo podporo. Pa prosim, če to potrdite s ploskami.
Če dovolite na koncu, marsikaj, kar je bilo tu povedano, verjetno marsikoga od nas spominja na čase tam leta 90, 91, 92. Marsičesa se spominjamo z nostalgijo, marsičesa s ponosom. To, kar je predsednik Torra tu večkrat poudarjal, gre tudi za solidarnost z državljani, ne samo s političnimi oblastmi. In mislim, da v Sloveniji simpatij in podpore temu, kar želijo Katalonci, kar naj bi bilo dokaz nekih demokratičnih vrednot, za katere se bori tudi Evropa, vse tako, kot je zapisala v svojih dokumentih, to v Sloveniji seveda ni in ne more biti pod vprašajem. Jaz bi se v našem skupnem imenu zahvalil predsedniku Torri, da je zdržal toliko časa z nami. Zahvalil bi se vam, podpornikom vsega tega, kar je bilo tu povedanega, in seveda moram se zahvaliti tudi županu in mestni občini Ljubljana, da nam je dala na razpolago te prostore z vsem, kar spada zraven. Hvala lepa, želim vam srečno novo leto. Januarja se vidimo, govorim seveda za člane Foruma 21. Hvala lepa. Oh, Mr. President.
Thank you for your words.
Ja,